My name is Daniel. My twin sister and I are huge fans of this show called The Backyardigains. We used to come home from preschool every day hoping The Backyardigans was on. My personal favorite episode of mine was Mission to Mars. I was really bummed out when they took The Backyardigans off the air, but it was pretty much the only show I watched growing up. Well, I did watch Blue's Clues as well, but we're getting off topic. About a week ago, I went shopping for groceries when I spotted a DVD in one of the aisles. It was a DVD release of The Backyardigans. Knowing that I love The Backyardigans, I decided to buy it. After buying the groceries and making it home, I put the DVD in the DVD player. After a few previews, the DVD menu came on. I went on with the episode selection. About 6 episodes were available. None of them were my favorite episode, Mission to Mars, but there were others I enjoyed. The episodes were For Secret Mission, The Yeti, Monster Detectives, It's Great to Be a Ghost, and Polka Palace Party. Now, the 6th episode wasn't recognized, and I recognized the title was Tyrone's Revenge. I was curious to see what the episode was about it, but at the same time I was a bit nervous. I played the episode as usual and the theme song played, and after the theme song was over, the title screen popped up and it read Tyrone's Revenge with orange letters and a picture of Tyrone giving an evil grin. The episode started with Tyrone's house. All 5 of the Backyardigans were sitting on Tyrone's outside porch as they were talking about what to do. Tyrone got up and said, "I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." As Tyrone went inside his house, Pablo said something wasn't very nice. "Yeah, I wish I never met Tyrone. He's really annoying at times." Austin then replied, "Yeah, sometimes I just want to slap him out of his misery." Both Uniqua and Tasha just said, "Ed, tell me about it." The screen then panned over to Tyrone's bathroom window, and he was about to use the bathroom when he heard his friends talking. He walked over the window and hear what's going on. Then he heard Austin said, "Tyrone is nothing but a piece of crap." With Pablo and Tasha and Uniqua all agreeing, Tyrone couldn't believe what his friends say about him. He wiped away a few tears before walking out of the bathroom, and he went to the kitchen drawer and pulled out some, injection needle and filled it with some liquid. And then he made his way back to the others. "Well, that was fast," Pablo said. "Yeah, it doesn't take me long to use the bathroom," Tyrone replied with a slight smile. About a minute or so, Tyrone made his way towards Pablo and injected him for a needle. It wasn't long before he passed out. Uniqua and Tasha noticed this, and they didn't have time to react, as Tyrone did the same thing when he did to Pablo to the 3 of them. They all passed out, so Tyrone dragged each of the characters into his house. The screen then transitions to Tyrone's basement. Each of the Backyardigans were tied up to a chair, waking up one by one. They all looked around confused and scared. "Where are we?" Tasha asked. I don't know," Pablo replied. "The last thing I remember was feeling a slight pinch in my neck, and I must have passed out," Uniqua said. "Me too," said Austin. "Where's Tyrone?" Pablo asked. There was a bit of silence before anyone can be seen coming from the basement stairs. "Oh, I see you guys are awake," Tyrone said with a grin. "Tyrone, why are we tied up?" Uniqua asked with a worried expression on her face. "Well, I just wanted to get even with you guys," he replied. "Even? What do you mean?" Tasha asked. "I heard you guys said about me while I was using the bathroom," Tyrone said with a tear running down his face. Tyrone, before Pablo could finish his sentence, he was quickly interrupted by Tyrone. "No!" Tyrone got in a bit of anger. "I don't want to hear it. All the time I thought you guys were my friends, but I thought you cared about me. Tyrone, I said I don't want to hear it." Tyrone then began to make his way towards the table and grabbed different types of weapons, such as a meat cleaver, blade knife, baseball bat, and some handcuffs and some nails. Tyrone picked up the knife and walked towards his friends. He says, very neeny, meeny, miny, mo, until he eventually stopped in Uniqua. "Tyrone, please don't do this. We didn't mean what we said." "Shut up." Tyrone was the only one a foot away from Uniqua. She was crying her eyes out, but at the same time begging for her life. "Tyrone, please, I don't want to die." "Too bad. You should have thought about what you said." Tyrone then grabbed Uniqua and basically killed her. I'm not explaining what it is because it was very graphic. It didn't take long until he took Uniqua down. Pablo and Austin and Tasha were trying their best to free themselves, but nothing worked. Tyrone then walked up to Tasha and started to untie her. And after he was finished untying Tasha, she ran up to Uniqua, bawling her eyes out. "Uniqua, I'm so sorry." Tasha was then interrupted by Tyrone grabbing her by the neck and ran towards their bathtub. Before I could continue the episode, I just wanted to say the episode was pretty long, so I'm deciding just to go straight into detail. Tyrone began throwing Tasha into the water of the pool in the bathtub, bringing it back up that he did over and over again, but kept her in underwater as usual, longer. Tasha suddenly dies, unfortunately. After about a minute or so, he picked up the metal baseball bat and made his way towards Pablo. With Austin and Pablo screaming for help, well, before being interrupted. Without a word, Tyrone began starting to beat the living crap out of Pablo with the bat. Austin was crying his eyes out while looking away. After about 2 minutes or so, Tyrone eventually stopped. Austin was the only one left. He was still crying his eyes out, trying not to look at his friends that were all nearly dead. "Now, Austin," Tyrone began, "I wanted to save the best for last." Tyrone untied Austin, and after that, he grabbed Austin by the waist. "I want to show you something," Tyrone says with a smile. Both Tyrone and Austin encounter a mini bedroom with a bed and television. "You just do it," Tyrone commanded. "Huh? Why?" Austin asked, while dried up tears in his face. "Just don't talk. Just do it." But Austin was quickly interrupted by a quick smack. "I said don't talk!" Austin began to do what Tyrone says, but then now this was the episode was a bit more disturbing. Tyrone forced Austin to do something really messed up. He continued to do this for as long as he can. Austin's eyes were filled with tears. Then the episode faded out of Tyrone's basement, and then it ended. I can't believe who would make this such sick and messed up type of episode. Why would anyone make this? What was there in their motivation? I immediately took the disc out and broke it so I wouldn't have to see that again. I may have second thoughts about Backyardigains being my favorite childhood show. And that, my little pretties, was, well, Tyrone's Revenge. A Backyardigains Lost Episode creepypasta written by Jax Martinez. Jax Martinez, I want to thank you so much for the story. Thank you for writing this story. That was there, I do appreciate it. So, yeah. With my final thoughts on this story. Okay. I do have a couple things to say before I get to the positive. So, now, I hope you understand me, Jax. I'm only doing this review because I want to help you get better with your writing. So, there are a lot of things I do have to say, and they're not that really positive. So, I really hope you do take it, like, as a grain of salt. Like, note that I'm not doing this to offend anybody. I'm not doing this to sound rude. This is only my opinion on the story, but not only that, I'm only trying to, well, do this so I can help you get better with your writing in the near future. So, the first problem with this story that I wasn't really crazy of is the cliches. Like, it says Tyrone's Revenge. Like, I know that's kind of like a cliche thing when it comes to, saying, a person's getting their revenge on, because something happened. Like, okay, I'm going to be completely honest that this is actually one of the biggest things I have to say. Is that the fact that, Tyrone's Revenge, what made Tyrone sit there and, go off and kill his friends? Like, there's no rhyme or reason why he's sitting there and, killing a bunch of his friends. Like, there's no reason why Tyrone is sitting there killing a bunch of his friends. Like, why would he sit there and kill his friends? I understand it kind of say, because they were talking crap about him. Well, what? He could have just sat there and they could have, just talked about it or, handle it in a nicer way. Not sit there and, killing people. Now, the blood and the gore in this, oh my goodness. And it's just messed up, too. Like, it's really messed up, in my opinion. And at least that they didn't play the hyper-realistic card. That, I'm giving a plus. There is no, hyper-realistic card. So, I'm definitely gonna have to say that right now. It's just, there's no hyper-realistic blood or anything like that. Because not like other creepypastas do tend to do nowadays. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Getting back to what I'm saying. This story was this had some cliches. So if this is your first story, I can definitely say, it could have been better, but I'm just only going to do this review because I want you to get better with your writing in the near future. That's the main reason why I want to get you to do better with your writing. That's the main positive that I can say is that if it's your first story, I really hope you take this with a grain of salt and strive to become better when it comes to writing these stories. Now, note that I'm saying this is not meant to, offend anybody or anything. This is only because I'm only doing this just to make people, just to help people get better with your writing. Now, with this story, I could definitely say this story actually did pretty decent, but there are some problems and issues with the story. So, one of them being there is cliches. Like, there are a couple cliches within this story. One of them being that I'm going to say right here, right now, is this. So, cliche number one is the DVD, being found at the store. Now, try to understand that that's been cliched, and it has been used in many creepypastas. Like, many creepypastas do tend to do this. I don't know what it is exactly, but lots of creepypastas have done this before. Like, I don't understand why that's the case, but it's the case with this creepypasta, is that lots of people, I don't know what it is. Maybe it might be just me not being fair. I don't really know, but it might be just me not being fair. But here's the thing. When it comes to DVD cliches, that's been used a lot. Like, you gotta really think about it. If you see cliches that are like this, you gotta know, because, cliches in something is just, I don't know what it is, but it's just cliched. That's the problem with the story, is that there are a lot of cliches incorporated in the story. Now, all of them don't really necessarily need to be cliche in this story. Like, not many cliches should be in this. But I'm only just saying this because I just want to make sure the author gets better with their story. And, for the future of them. So, I could definitely say I'm definitely being completely honest. This story itself is just completely, I don't know what it is. It's just a little all over the place. So the first thing I could definitely say is the DVD cliche being found at the grocery store. So that's cliche number one. Now, the another thing is, there are 6 episodes available, but of course the 6th episode had like a really messed up title. Now, that is another cliche. I'm definitely saying that right now. That's a different cliche. That's another cliche. Because I think other pastas have used this, so that's another thing. And then, the grammar of this is pretty decent. I could definitely give it that. But there are a couple run-on sentences in the story that do need to be fixed up. I think there were a couple of grammatical errors and punctuation errors. That's the reason why the story is the way it is. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just because it's completely all over the place. And then Tyrone injects, needles into, his friends, and then passes out, and then drags him to the basement, and then he ends up killing, his friends. There's no rhyme or reason why he would sit there and kill his friends, and then of course, Tyrone forced Austin to do stuff that he didn't want to do. I didn't say what they are, because it was just messed up and disturbing. And, that's the thing I can definitely say, is that it's just messed up. If you're gonna, I think some of these subject matters of these pastas are just there for shock. So I definitely have to say, if you're going to include a shocking subject, here's the thing. You gotta make sure it plays well with your story. Because if it doesn't play out well with your story or anything like that, go back and change it. Make something a little different. That's at least would be one thing to say, instead of sitting there and, just throwing them there because simply just sake for throwing them in there. That's the main reason why this episode just wasn't great. It was alright for what it is, because, well, it's interesting because of the concept, but the story itself is just, completely cliched. So, another thing I'm gonna completely and utterly say that right now, that this story, this needs improvement. That's the big reason why this story is just needs somewhat improvement. So, that's definitely one reason I could definitely say. So, now another reason why this story wasn't great. Well, let's just say right now that, near the end of the episode, it shows, the protagonist taking out the DVD and break it into two and wouldn't have to worry about watching it again. Why do, why does it always that YouTubers have, no, not YouTubers, but why is it always that writers have to put that there when it comes to reading their story, writing, when it comes to creepypastas? I'm afraid that's something I'm not going to understand, is why would you sit there, why would the protagonist sit there and break the disc instead of just going to the police or something? At least that way it would have been, a lot better and understandable, but in this case, there's just no reason said whatsoever. That's just the big problem, is that there's no reason why the protagonist is doing the way he's doing. That's the problem. Alright, I've been going on for a long time, so I could definitely say that right now, but, here's the thing. To Jax Martinez, or whatever it is, please take this review that I have to say with a grain of salt and strive to become better with your writing. I know you use Google Docs, but you could do a lot better. I know you can. I promise you. I'm only doing this review because I want to help you get better with your writing. Now, one of the reasons what I would like to see improve on if you're going to do another story is do not add a whole bunch of cliches to make it like a cliche fest story. Unless if it's like a troll pasta, or at the very least, if it plays well, if a certain cliche plays well with your story. As long as you make it work, you could succeed on that one. Another one. The grammar just needs to be fixed up at certain parts. So, the grammar was decent, I could definitely give it that. But just kind of try to take your time when it comes to doing your grammar. Now, the sentence structuring. Same thing. There were a couple run-on sentences, but I'm sure you could work on with the punctuation marks, figure out which the punctuation marks are the right ones to go, and stuff. And the paragraph structuring is another reason. The paragraph structuring is decent, but most of it is just crammed up in, almost one, there was big paragraphs. There are certain parts that could have been split into certain paragraphs, but unfortunately that's not the case with this story. I'm not trying to sound rude or anything. I'm only saying this because I want to help you get better with your writing in the future. So anyways, this review, as long as it is, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review. Now, like I'm going to say, people, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be 2 out of 10. I'm only giving this a 2 out of 10 because the grammar is decent, and same with the sentence structuring. But there needs to be improvement on the grammar being a little bit more better and easier to read. The sentence structuring needs to be fixed up. Punctuation needs to be fixed up as well. Same thing with the paragraph structuring. And do not add too many cliches in the story. That's one of the reasons, unless specific otherwise. But I'm saying this right now, and I'll say this again, I'm not sounding rude or anything when I do these reviews. I'm only saying this review is just so I can get better with your story. So you can get better with your stories. So, I could definitely say that right now. If you guys really want, if you want to do better with your story, that's fine. So, yeah. Anyways, with that being said, what did you guys think about this curry pasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I'll be catching you all in the next video, so peace out everyone. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.